Well, the Tempe Fire Department dive team was formed in May of 2005, and it was a response to the Tempe Town Lake getting filled in, which occurred approximately 2 years prior. Currently, we have approximately 25 members of the fire department that are involved in the dive program. Approximately 18 are divers, the rest are dive support personnel.
When we first started the dive team, Chuck Herman came to our ladder truck and asked if we would be interested, and we asked him some questions about what it would entail, and Chuck really was excited about it, and which made us excited, and we decided to be part of the dive team, make a difference in the community.
I got involved with diving about 10 years ago when I started recreational diving. Did a few dives in the Bahamas, and from there I got assigned Ladder 276 about 5-6 years ago, and they are a TRT team and dive team. So there they sent me through a certification course, and I got certified for emergency rescue diving.
Well, the importance of the dive team in the community is that we provide a service in the unfortunate event that someone goes into the lake. Unfortunately, it's a reality where there's water, there's going to be a problem. And we put a lot of time and energy into prevention. Unfortunately, the last step is for the dive team actually into the water. Public safety diving, it's a very dirty and dangerous occupation. It's one of the more dangerous special ops in the fire department. Training is very, very important. Okay, the guys typically do about 48 hours a month continuing education with diving. One of the things with diving, it's a very perishable skill. Once they've concluded their initial 200 hours of training, typically what you do is you see them come up to a high level and then they duck down a little bit and they'll come back up with some continuing education. So we're constantly striving to keep these guys very proficient and comfortable in the water.
We keep ourselves trained and are ready to do it, so that aids the community just like any other emergency response. If something was to happen on the lake, whether a boat tipped over, whatever it was involving an accident in the lake, our response time is quick, and I think we have a high level of training, a lot of professionalism, so the community can rest assured that if something did happen, they would have the best opportunity to be rescued.
I started out as a diver on the dive team, and then I decided to move to a dive tender. The dive tender has an integral part of the dive team, and they take care of the safety of the diver. And with that, we also help with the community by solving a problem, having an outcome to whatever the incident is, and that just makes me feel good inside.
My experience with the Tempe dive team is I'm one of the primary divers on B shift, so if I get called out or we get a call on B shift, I will be diving, one of the primary divers, to do search and rescue, body recovery, or weapon recovery. I'm also a secondary diver for any other shift, and I will get called in that day and back up any of the divers they have there in case it's a time-consuming event.
Recently we worked with the Phoenix Police Department in an evidence dive recovery class. One of the members over there is very proficient in this type of diving, and this has given us another tool in our toolbox.
ERDI is Emergency Response Diving International, and they are a nationally recognized certification organization who specifically targets public safety diving. Recently, Tempe Fire partnered up with myself and ERDI and obtained a certification in underwater crime scene investigations. What the certification will do will allow them to collect and process and be able to testify to the evidence that they've found or recovered from any body of water that they might encounter.
Well, the Tempe Fire Department dive team has recently gone through training and certification in evidence collection, as well as body recovery from our bodies of water within the city of Tempe. This is just a great now resource for us to have. One, it gives us the ability to use local resources within our own city for evidence recovery and body recovery. And it also gives us the ability to use the Tempe Fire dive team with a greater or quicker response time to assist us in our investigations without having to outsource those responsibilities. That becomes very important when evidence recovery is of a time-critical nature or body recovery is of a time-critical nature. It'll save us on time in using that resource locally as opposed to outsourcing it.
By teaming up with ERDI, I think that it shows how forward-thinking the Tempe Fire Department is becoming and has been in the past. They are one of the leaders in the Valley by attaining the certification to work as underwater investigators in the harsh underwater world of public safety diving. And this will assist the police department greatly in prosecuting different types of cases and different cases that they're presented with.
There's a dedication to the dive team that these divers have that's really, it speaks highly of them to come in every week and get their hours in, doing the same old. It's very important. Like I said, it's a very perishable skill, and we provide the service 24/7. And once we get in the water, it's not the time to want to brush up on skills. These guys have to be ready at a moment's notice. And it's my job as the dive team coordinator to make sure that they have the skill set to provide the necessary requirements of the job. And public safety diving, it's inherently a very, very dangerous activity. It's one of the more dangerous activities that the fire departments, the sheriff's department, the police departments do. There's a lot of unknowns down there. We don't know what's down there. Entanglement hazards, there's poor visibility, and it's very emotional.
Being on the dive team has presented a lot of new challenges for me. It's a lot more technical than just firefighting because we are underwater and you can't use a lot of your senses. So everything is based off of feel. You can't hear or smell or understand what's really going on. You just have to feel your way through the bottom of the water.
And why it would help the community is we're first responders. We're within a quarter mile of the lake, and it only made sense that our truck would participate and be first in that area. And a quick response is vital if somebody's having trouble in the water. You don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, the relationship between the police department and fire department occurs every single day on all calls, whether they have to do with dive recovery or they have to do with out of water scene assistance between the two departments. Having a good working relationship and knowing the capabilities of both department greatly will aid the community in the fact that thorough, better investigations are completed with more positive outcomes in recovery of evidence and in the rescue of people that we're looking for.
The benefits to the community for having a dive team in Tempe is our response time. We are ready 24/7 all the time. All of our gear is ready at all the time, so anytime we get that call, we are in the water within minutes. So our response times are very valuable, especially dealing with water and victims in the water.
Dive team for me is just, diving for me, like I said, it's a way of life for me. It's what I know, it's what I enjoy, it's a passion. Knowing that we have a really rock solid dive team is something I take a lot of pride in. And it's really something that it gives me a premium right here